Hello everybody, so this is another video by Paco3D.art, and today we're going to be doing, so I did promise that I was going to do a couple more of UV videos. They haven't been very popular, so I think I'll be fine just to do something basic. So yeah, I just opened the content browser here, and I'm going to look for something that is kind of cutesy, easy to follow, but it's got a little bit of a... So I'm gonna do a dinosaur. So if Christian is watching this, I hope he's happy that I'm doing a dinosaur. So we got this little fella here, and we're gonna do the UVs of this. So I'm gonna go to the panels in here, perspective UV editor, so you can see, and it's already got some UVs, right? But I got a few problems with it. One, for starters, it's got a lot of weird islands. And this is going to be an opportunity for me to do the mirror effect. So what's very good, if you've got a character that's mirrored, you only need to texture one side of the model, and the other side can be done as a reference by moving all the UV shells to another UDM if you want, right? But then we'll continue to merge everything together later. So first step, let's delete all of these. And I usually like to start with a create camera based, so we can see everything's there. And this is like another part where let's consider this is almost like you are a butcher, but you don't want to do everything twice. You don't want to do double the work. If your model is perfectly symmetrical, like if both sides are exactly the same, usually I like to go to the front mode, right? So we go to the front of the animal, and I draw a square to the side that I just want to work on, into like we go like yay, and then delete. So we only are using half of the model. We'll just unwrap half of the model, and then after that we'll do a mirror across, right? Usually I like to make the cut wherever the limbs are, so I'll go around here to treat it as a separate model. So I'll go around there, be like, all right, cool. So I'm gonna make a logical cut. So it goes all the way around there. Cool, make sure that I did not miss anything. Yeah, that's very tight. So the next part is, yeah, I'm just gonna do a cut here. And I'm gonna pull that out to say, yeah, that's a successful cut. So we got that individual leg there. I'm gonna go and do the same around there, just checking to see where that seam is going around. So that looks logical to go around there. And yeah, after this, I'm gonna do a person, like in another video most likely, and then I will stop doing the UVs. Gonna pull that out. I'm gonna do the same for the tail, so I'm just gonna go around here. At the tail. I will do the horn. I'm gonna go around here, pressing F to zoom to that area. And you can see that I'm picking areas that I know that there's going to be a clean loop around. And whenever you do retopology, you need to think the same way as well. You need to think, okay, so if this was cut for UVs, the topology should follow that way, right? So it's a bit easier to do the cut. So I'm gonna do the cut there. That down. This part here is gonna be a pain, and it's going to have some weird deformations. So this part here should be treated as its own. So I'm just gonna select those areas around there, and then I might go all the way here and then there as well, right? Because that area there will be some weird deformation, so I think that needs to be cut and be something. And we got this little horn there. I think that should be its own island as well. So let's select that, go around, and cut. We got that part in. Put this, put this. Now, with a lot of these pieces, especially the cylindricals, you need to treat them as both a cylinder in a box in a weird way. When it comes to texturing, you would want for the seams to be around the back here, so nobody can see them. So it will be in the shadow and the shade. Around there, that's going to be weird. So I'm gonna go and do the cut around there. I go now. It goes all the way to the bottom there. And then I'm gonna cut that open, but leave it connected to one face so it's all like connected. Gonna go around like this and maybe leave that one open and then see how that unfolds. So now that I've got that line that goes all around there and then around it, I'm gonna cut it, unfold that. There we go. So we got already the one filler down. And this part there, I might cut that and leave it. So I think that's okay if that's separate. Oh, unfold, unfold. Let's do this one here. Yeah, it's funny because I have been wanting to just wrap up very soon with the introductory kind of videos. There is millions and millions of videos out there that do introductory kind of stuff. But I also wanted to be in a situation where if someone goes, oh, how do you do whatever basic? I can be like, yeah, this is a video. This is where you can see it. This is where you can learn. So when I do the advanced stuff, which is like I'm going to do more intermediate kind of videos, and then eventually I'm going to be like, I'm going to do really crazy advanced stuff. And I don't want people to be like, wow, man, you're doing this all so fast. I can barely follow you. I'm like, mate, if you follow all my basic videos, then, you know, you can be a lot faster and then follow at my rate, right? Yeah, they haven't been very, how do I say, popular. But I think is the popularity is mainly due to, like, it's just not as exciting, right? Because it's all just basic introduction stuff. And there's a million videos of that kind of stuff already. And a lot of people already know that if they're going to be following someone on YouTube, right? So, but I'm very stubborn and I like to, yeah, I like to cover the basics at least. But I'm almost done. I've got this video and then one more. And then after that, I'm going to be going a little bit more hardcore, yeah? So I've got, what I'm going to do here with this horn, it's going to go all the way this way. And then I'm going to go around here. And so as you can see here, you got your C intersection. And then it is going cutting around there, but we're doing it in a spot where if you are texturing there, that seems going to be a little bit less visible, you see? So now we're going to go here, go cut, unfold. There we go. So we got our little horny guy there. Cool. I'm already organizing it so I can see how that's unfolding. Now, this part here, usually when there is an eye, the eye would be a separate thing. Like you would never have the eye slide down, but that's cool. I can see that this part here of the mouth maybe needs to be unfolded. I think that other than the mouth area, everything else I think is going to be a pretty decent unfold. So sometimes, yeah, the best way to do this is to do an unfold, see how that looks. I think that's fine. But yeah, I think there's part of the mouth there. I think it deserves to have an unfold. Because it's got a bit of that cylindrical shape. So I think there's a little bit of weird deformation going on there. So if we cut that, and we re-unfold again, oh, it's not too bad. Might be only worth to doing those guys over there, but this guys here can they. Yeah, that works fine. All right, cool. So this has been a lot easier than I thought. Let's do this fella here. It's funny because I thought the rifle, which it's been very interesting video because it was a video that's taken me a whole hour to put together, but there was a lot of parts. It was kind of complex. But I think that the YouTube algorithm does not like it because I'm doing the UVs of a rifle and it says UVs rifle, and I think YouTube is gone. I'm not sharing this with anybody, and I'm like, okay, it's got 2 views. I'm like, why am I doing this? What's the meaning of life? Anyways, we got that one there. As you can see, it has unfolded both ways pretty nicely. I could maybe do a cut there, but no, I think that's fine. So that's not a problem. And then we can stitch it from the middle there, where we do the mirror. When it comes to the mirror, yeah, maybe the legs are safe, but no. So that's the UVs done. So easy. So the next part is there's two routes. Yeah. So think of this as like you want to maximize your texture, but you don't care too much on the details repeating. So you can do one side there and then you mirror it and then you put it on the other side. So you can just go, let's go. Let's get that set. Now that's all that done. And let's say that you do the UVs or something like this and you don't care on, wish I could fit those in there. You don't care about the mirroring, so this is only if you are happy to have the same details across both sides. All right, so let's do this as close as possible. Take as little space. Cool. Now that we've got this here, still think I could do much better. But I'm gonna put that back there. One technique that I won't mind showing is you could go make this perfectly flat and then unfold this in that direction, right? But then in order to save space, you unfold the other part, so you leave this alone and then you unfold this, right? And then you unfold again this part to remove as much distortion as possible. But you can see now that this part here is relatively flat. So now if I need to put this in here, it's going to like fit very, very nicely there and maximize the amount of pixels. And now this is going to give me a little bit more space with this stuff. So that technique that I did show you there is pretty advanced. I don't think I've ever seen someone teach me that, and I don't think I've ever seen that used in any video tutorial of any form or sort. So yeah, now this guy's there here, these are the base of the legs. If they are slightly smaller and they fit in here, no one's gonna really notice because they are going to be in the base of the legs. And it's very common in games that, yeah, because no one's gonna see the base of the leg. It's gonna be in the dark as well, it's gonna be in the shade. It's okay to make them slightly smaller, right? You know what? So let's go in here. That is that. There. And I'm gonna do the same technique where I select everything but this part here. I'm gonna do unfold. And then I'm gonna do this part there, unfold. And then see if I can fit this as well as possible. This way, maybe. I will eventually manage it. Don't you worry. You know what they say? When there's a will, there's a way. That. Alright, I'll just put it here. Oh, annoying. This fit better maybe. Sure. Alright, cool. I will stop fudging this around because I'm gonna redo this again in a second after I show you. So let's say that I'm gonna snap this to the grid in the corner there. Make this bigger. Well, let's say that this is as good as it gets, right? And yeah, so now this is the part where we do the mirror. So we go, cool, mirror from the x-axis. So we got the x-axis here. So we go shift right click, mirror. And now that's gonna mirror. So I would do the match threshold like very small, but still like 0 point something to make sure that's welding in the middle there. And usually the best way is to go around and see that it's being welded nicely, that you don't have any problems. So that looks fine to me. And now the trick is everything's gonna look purple, but you select. I did this with the rifle, I guess. But you go to selection. What, am I blind or stupid or dumb? Okay, here you go. Back facing. So anything that's been like, you go select back faces. Right, so that's gonna select anything that's red. The next part here, so this is the trick that I did not show in the other video. So whenever you're moving things in here, you can move things with the arrow keys, right? But it's going to do the intervals at 0.125. If you want to do UDIMs and you want to move UDIMs around, you can do it intervals at 1 grid. So it's going to move UVs with 1, like, so this is 0 to 1, right? So if I select back faces and I put this to 1 and I go with the arrow keys, you can move them around like this, right? The thing about this is kind of hard to explain and also hard to understand is that when you're doing texturing Substance Painter and you want to be able to texture on both sides of the texture, you need to have this here, right? So then Substance Painter works on both sides of the model when you're doing texturing. However, when you're doing baking, you want this to be here, right? So then it only bakes one side of the model. Otherwise, you're going to get some weird artifacts. And now, if you got a texture that's like 1K or 2K, you're going to be able to maximize the texture count of the pixels, and you're going to have double the detail because you got, yeah, like it's duplicating both sides. This is also really useful if, for example, you've got like a spider and the spider's got 8 legs and every leg is the same, then only model sculpt 1 leg. And then you can do this as well where it's all using the same texture, right? Or a button or like a certain detail that's being duplicated across the whole model, right? However, we are now, so we are going to do now a method where we go, actually, you know what? Let's do everything unique. So we learn how to weld the middle parts and then call it a day. So I'm going to grab this part here. I'm going to mirror that, like, going to flip it. And I'm going to start welding the parts that I think is going to be the most visible. So I'm going to grab this part here. Go from here to there. I'm going to take this mode out for a second. I'm going to move and connect that. And now Anything that I've done, I'm just gonna go in here, unfold. So that's nice. Anything with the legs and the horns, that's fine. But there is this part here in the middle. This is where what I would do is I would make a cut from here to down there. So anything that's like face related, like yeah, from here to there, can be welded a lot easier along there on both sides. Yeah. I'll show you in a second what I mean. So I'm gonna cut that. And now I'm gonna wrap this together. And for the face, yeah, I'm gonna do like the bottom of the neck, I'm gonna leave it open, but you're always gonna be looking at the top there. So this is the part now. They're gonna select this middle part there to weld together. All the way to maybe like here. And I'm just gonna go move and connect. So we got this open thing here. And this is where, yeah, we always need to do a unfold. Like that. And now that's the front of the face of the little creature, right? That is welded back there. This is where sometimes you don't notice. But this is the part there that maybe we can weld these two parts together, right? So maybe just from here, so you can just go, all right, I'm just going to select that spot there so we don't have that seam. And then we can select this for there. And then we can do the same with this part there so we don't have that weird seam. Everything else, I think I would not weld it because that you see how it's going outwards and it's going the other side. But now I can go connect those and do another unfold, and voila, we got one gigantic piece there. And it's all welded together. It's up front. And yeah, this is going to look really nice. So now, with these two parts here, I think this is the last part that we need to weld in the middle. I would do this part here. Oh, we got the tail as well, I guess. So I will grab here to here. So you can see I'm going to click, double click, then go connect. Move this and that. Just go unfold. Oh, we got that part there now. And I'm gonna do the middle part here of this tail. So I'm gonna go from here to here. Connect. Unfold. And voila. Now I've noticed that the tail here, it's not liking the way this is being unfolded. It's kind of a little bit deforming. So I'm gonna do a C intersection maybe from around here. Select around here and here as well. Now just gonna go that. And let's see if this unfolds a little bit better. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit more relaxed. It's gonna get some better pixels around there. It's not gonna look so weird. And I think this is it. The next part now is again, just go. Usually I like to grab the biggest piece and be like, okay, if this fits in here, and that's going to be the biggest piece, but I still need to be able to fit everything else. I guess I go get. I think this has to be a bit smaller though. I'm gonna set that to 2, everything to 2, and let's try to fit things now again together. Sometimes when it comes to textures, sometimes they like the face always to be in the same side of the UV island, so they know where it is, and then you got the body there. It's going to be interesting to fit everything in now. Legs. Now this would be 100% unique. Like, okay. I think I will stop the the video here because I think you've got a good idea. Yeah, and I don't want this video to get too long. It's 25 minutes long. But it would be the point of, yeah, getting everything in here as tight as possible. Have a little bit of a distance. There is a way, like if for any reason you got anything overlapping with each other, and you want to like double check to see if that's working fine, that's not happening, you can always do a overlapping. So you just go face mode, overlapping, and it will show you anything that's like overlapping on top of each other, right? Not too sure why it is showing that's overlapping there when there's nothing beneath it, so that's weird. But yeah, if you got anything that's overlapping with each other and you press on that button, it will show you anything that's being overlapping. So that's a good way to test with that as well, which is really cool. Okay, and yeah, just fit everything in there and then you're ready for texturing. Let me know if you guys want any videos in specific that you want to learn that you're not sure about. So if there is a specific tutorial that you require, or well, let's stop there for a second. If you need anything, or if you like this videos, feel free to subscribe as well. I will do a character next because I think characters, that's something that everybody really enjoys learning. We're doing this kind of UVs. And then after that, yeah, I'm gonna do a bit more interesting things. Like it's going to be more project based. Like okay, let's do a sword, or let's do a shield, or let's do a little you know, a little city, or let's do some atlas or something that's a bit more project specific, now that we've learned the basics, a lot of these concepts, right? Anyways, I'll see you guys around, and thank you so much.